This week on Pole House Black Pot Weekend Getaways, we're headed to Italy on our front porch. What's on the menu?
Biscotti.
So stick around.
This is Wade, and I'm Angel, and this is Iris, and we are Pole House Black Pots Weekend Getaways, where we show you all things yummy to cook in cast iron as we visit different places.
Welcome to another Out on the Front Porch
Cooking. The last in our series, Sweets from Around the World.
This is part 5, so hopefully you enjoyed the first
and we've
4.
saved the best until last. We make this every year. Maybe not in a Dutch oven. This will be the first time.
First time outside.
Be the first time we've ever cooked it. And if you haven't noticed, we've got a trend here where most of what we've cooked is in the Cook-It-All. That thing's so versatile.
It works real good for the cookies, flat stuff. Yeah.
Yes, it's going to work out really well for this. We haven't used it very much until
this, but yeah, it works great. So we're going to be using that again today. So.
I guess what's on the menu?
We're coming from the country of. We're coming from
Italy, isn't it?
Italy. Excuse me. We're coming from Italy, and it's biscotti.
Now, this is his mom and my mom's favorite cookie that we make. We make it for him every year, don't we?
Yep, part of the Christmas presents.
We're going to get around. It's his recipe. You're going to see him mostly. I'll be behind the camera. Okay. So we're going to get around and we'll be right back at you.
Okay, be right back. All right, so we're starting with, just like a lot of cookies, you have a wet and a dry, okay? So in this bowl here, I have added flour, baking powder, and salt, okay? Now I'm going to mix that together just a little bit, so that's ready to go. Now, once you mix that up, you set it aside. For your wet ingredients, we're starting with sugar, okay? To that, we're going to add 3 whole eggs. So we'll get the eggs dumped in. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to whisk these together just a little bit, kind of make sure they're mixed up good. Not a bad idea, though. Before you try to mix it in with everything else.
Yeah, you wind up with a piece of white where you didn't want it.
Okay, now, we add melted butter. We're using salted butter. If you use unsalted butter, you can, of course, add a little bit more salt.
It's melted but not hot, right?
That's right. It's barely enough to get it melted.
Because we don't want
You don't want to start scrambling the eggs. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Now we'll mix that in a little bit. Next ingredient is about a tablespoon of vanilla. We're using real vanilla. That's about 3 capfuls in here. That's about usually these bigger caps are about a teaspoon. Vanilla, okay. We're going to mix this together.
And if you haven't noticed, it's a little smoky around here. We're going to do something on the briquettes, and we needed...
Okay. Now, we're going to come over here. Angel, you can follow me over here.
Yep. I'm going to go over here. He's got his rack set up.
We're going to put a skillet on top of the rack. And we're going to toast 1 cup of slivered almonds.
Which usually is 2 of these little packs.
Okay. Trying not to eat too much smoke over here. So, I should have probably put this on a little quicker and got that heated up. So, it takes just a minute to get that cast iron hot. Now, when you're toasting...
Wait a minute, there's a dog here, right there. Iris here. She is a shedding dog.
Okay, so usually when you're toasting any type of nuts like this, or A lot of times you'll maybe even toast some seeds of different kind, maybe sesame seed or stuff like that. You usually do it with a dry skillet that brings the natural oils out of your nut or your seed and gives a more intense flavor. So you want to kind of be careful. You can get it fairly hot, which won't hurt, but you want to kind of keep it stirring so you don't get them actually burnt. So that's what we're doing now.
When he gets them to where they're toasted, we'll be back.
You can see they're just starting to turn brown. That's done enough. You don't want to get them too done. Okay, I'm going to set this off so you don't get them too hot. And what we're going to do is we're going to add them to our flour mixture real quick.
We don't want to overheat our egg mixture, so
we'll put our toasted almonds in here. We'll give them a quick stir. Okay, now we'll be right back and we'll get the final wet and dry ingredients all mixed together, and then we'll be ready to do the first of 2 bakings for these cookies. Be right back. Okay, wet ingredients all mixed up well. We're going to add ground aniseed. It's kind of a licorice flavor. So what we're making, of course, if you haven't already guessed, we're doing anise almond biscotti, which is a fairly traditional biscotti that you can get most places. It's one of the most, probably the most common. Okay, that's all incorporated. Now, we add the flour mixture to the wet. We'll probably just put half of it in here real quick. Now this would be another one of those recipes that we normally do. Of course, when we do it inside, you had a good good electric stand mixer, works great. But since we're trying to do this for you all outside, Dutch oven
it's
cooking,
something you can do. When we say
Yeah.
we can cook anything inside in the Dutch oven that you cook in your oven or your stove, we mean that.
yeah, even making it, mixing it up, and even though it's a little bit more work, yeah, that it is.
Everything we cook out here, we would cook out camping. So,
Once we get this all mixed together, these are ready for the next step.
so we'll be back. Are we going to preheat the cook at all?
We are going to, yes. So, that means I need to get this set up over here. We're level to see it on there. Right. Little trouble with this. There we go. Okay. Now, we'll put the lid on. And we'll start with some charcoal on the bottom. Okay, I put 15 on the bottom. I have it evenly spaced around the outside edge. Just like we do when we're doing our Dutch oven cooking. Same idea. And now on top, we're going to put the rest. We started with 40 pieces of charcoal. Seems like it's working good. Get us a nice hot oven. About 350. And we're doing a full ring around the top basically, and then we'll put about 6 in the middle. Give us kind of a checkerboard style heat, like we've been doing with our Dutch oven cooking. Same idea, just a little bit different since this cook it all is a little different shape, but same principle. Alright. Now, we're going to let that Dutch oven reheat. We're going to come over here again.
Alright, so we're coming back.
Okay. So I got them all mixed up. And we're going to grab parchment paper. Today we're using the Lodge parchment papers that are round. Pretty handy. We'll grab one of those. So the idea here is to, now the original recipe that I make it inside, I put 2 logs about 13 inches long on a standard cookie sheet. Long way of the cookie sheet. Leave enough gap in them for it to expand a little bit because they do kind of flatten out. They don't stay, they won't be round when we get done. So I'm kind of guessing here on this length and width. Let's see here.
I wouldn't go much longer.
I don't think I'm going to go too much longer than that. Okay, eyeballing, I think we're going to be okay. Okay. So, now, what we do is, I use water on my fingers. Kind of keeps it from sticking. You can do flour. Seems like water to me works pretty good. Okay, just a little bit more here. And we're going to put it into a log, just kind of like that. Okay, now we got one more step to do, and we'll be right back to do it. So we are going to start with the last thing we need is an egg white. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to whisk that up.
Make it a little frothy, right?
Yep. We have a frothy egg. Okay, so now
White.
all we need to do is we're going to brush this all over all the surfaces of our biscotti log. What this does is give us a nice shiny glossy coat when it's done on the outside.
Oh, and do you bake this cookie just once?
This cookie is a twice baked cookie. We're going to bake it as this log like you see right here. When that's done, and takes about 25-30 minutes, it starts to turn brown like anything else. We'll put it off and let it cool completely. Then we're going to slice it in half-inch thick slices and then rebake it. Okay, so now we're back over to this side for the baking process. So we're going to take the lid off.
Now, are we going to have to turn this?
It's a 30-minute cook time, so I'm going to say we'll probably do like we did last week when we did it. We're going to do probably run, rotate, top only. I think we'll be okay. Okay, now what we'll do is we're going to bring it over. And we're going to slide it right out onto, and then we're going to make sure it's halfway pretty much centered. I think we're pretty good. Let me put my finger in it. Fix that. Okay. Yeah, so I think now I gotta recenter it. Okay, there we go. Now, lid back on. Okay, so yeah, normally, like I say, I do it in this cookie sheet. I do it all one time on 2 long rows on the cookie sheet with parchment paper. But I'm afraid with we might not be able to get them all on there in this way. So we're just going to show you how to do one of them, and the other ones we're going to do finish them in the house the same process. So when these get done baking, we'll get back with you and see how they look at this step. Be right back. Alright, we've had a 30-minute cook time. Well, I smell them. We'll see how they look at.
If you're smelling them, they're probably done.
Yep.
Oh yeah, they're done. The ashes got in there, dear.
Well, the wind is blowing so bad.
Oh, he's getting it off.
Then I blow more on it from over here.
All right, hang on.
We're just gonna pull them off and we'll blow them off over here.
Ooh, that's hot. Now,
Okay.
as he's blowing that off, the next step has to be when they're totally cool.
Because we have
I
to, yep.
repeat, totally cool, because we're going to be slicing them.
And then baking them again.
And if they're not totally cool, you just have crumbles.
Yeah, they fall apart. So,
So,
all right.
we'll be back.
Okay, it's been about an hour and a half. Pretty much cool. That's good. Now you need to get a serrated edge knife, like you were doing if you're cutting bread. And the idea is we're going to cut these, I guess it's diagonally, crossways, whatever you want to call it, about a 1/2 inch thick pieces. You got to be kind of careful because they're still a little bit crumbly. So we're going to carefully cut down through here. Probably not going to get them all perfect, but that's okay. Now they're all done. You can share the nice little crunchy end with your spouse because they're already still make a good cookie this way.
Just not dunkable.
All right, we pretty much preheated our cook-it-all the exact same way we did earlier, with 40 pieces of charcoal, 15 on the bottom, rest on top. So now it should be good and hot. Now we take our cookies and we lay them cut side down onto the cook-it-all. And what we need to make sure we do is that they don't hit too close to the edge, because we got to have that room for the cook-it-all lid. So we're going to lay these on.
How many you think you're getting out of that?
I don't know, I didn't count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 good ones.
Now you're setting those directly on the cook-it-all instead of using the parchment
Yeah,
paper.
that's the way that they said to do it on the instructions originally. You probably could get by with the other way, but this is what they said, so that's why we're going to do it this way. Put the lid back on.
And instead of turning, what are you gonna do?
Instead of turning, rotating that top, we're actually going to go about 12 to 15 minutes and then flip them over. And then, because sometimes they're usually in the regular oven, the bottoms brown a little bit faster than the tops. So we'll flip them over, see how they're doing, and then cook them another. So it takes about 12 minutes or so on the top, and you flip them over, and probably a little bit less than that on the other side, because everything's good and hot by then. So we'll do that, and we'll get them flipped over, and before too long, these will be all done and ready to eat. Okay, we have flipped them. So about 8 minutes ago. Now we're going to see if we got the other side done.
Oh yeah, those look
Yep.
good.
They look good. Now, go ahead and get these ones out of the center because they're a little hotter. A little bit more brown, but they didn't get too brown. You can see they're nice and brown. Now, they have to get fairly brown because the idea, when they cool completely, they're going to get hard. Because this is a really crunchy cookie, because what you're supposed to do with them, of course, is
dunk them in coffee.
Dunk them in coffee. This is a Dunkin' cookie. This is not for eating by themselves. So
they're kind of tough if you try to eat them by
yeah, they're good.
themselves.
Now, we did one time make these, and instead of making them into logs, we actually got a little scoop and made them into regular sized cookies and baked them one time and kind of called them a biscotti cookie, and it still turned out really good that way
They were
too.
good, tasty,
Yeah.
but they weren't as dunkable. And that's
No,
what we
no,
like about
but
them.
the idea is to make them a dunkable cookie. But we're not going to taste them because we already know what they taste like. We make them every year. That anise flavor with those toasted almonds.
It's
They're
wonderful.
wonderful. Some people I've even seen where they actually dip half of them in white chocolate or something. And we've never done that. You could. But these are kind of the traditional way of making them. They're excellent, and you should probably be sure to try them sometime for your recipe. So
Not only does that do it for this video, but dang it, it does it for this year.
Yes.
When this airs, it'll be New Year's week.
New Year's, yep.
So Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody.
We will see you in the new year. And we probably won't have a video for a couple weeks.
Yeah, we'll probably take a couple weeks off like everybody else kind of does in the YouTube world right at the end of the year.
And our next one we're going to try, I think, a quick live video.
If nothing else, we're going to definitely kind of come up with some recap of 2024. Maybe some ideas of what we think about maybe what we're
I
going to
think
do.
more on what we're going to do. No ideas. You can watch our videos from 2024.
Yeah, I won't give you too much on
So, like this video if you like it. Share us on Facebook or Instagram. If you like this video, maybe y'all look back at some of our past ones.
that. Yeah.
What else should they do?
Don't forget to subscribe so you can keep on watching us whenever you want.
Happy New Year, and we'll see you next year.
All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks again for watching.